Welcome back to Scotty's Lifestyle channel. Today I'm going to be making some turkey neck, similar to oxtail. In Jamaica we refer to this as Jamaican oxtail. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up the turkey neck, and it is done similar to the oxtail. There's some little skin on the end of it that you need to get off. So let me show you. This is what I'm talking about. So you need to try and get these off as best as possible. So you can just hold them like this and just cut them off. See, it's like you're peeling it. This is the amount of fat that was on it, so it's very important that you clean up all of that fat, because you don't want to cook it with the fat on it. So next thing you need to do, you need to wash it. You need to wash it with, you can use either vinegar or you can use lemon or lime, whichever one you have. So I'm going to wash mine and then I'm going to season it up. Guys, ensure to wash it properly. Use your vinegar or your lemon or lime. Now I'm going to season up the turkey neck. So now I'm using 6 cloves of garlic. I'm using some pimento seed, some scallion, some fresh thyme, 1 onion, and 1 Scotch bonnet pepper. First I'm going to do, I'm going to crush my pimento seed. I'm going to just pour it out over the turkey neck. I'm going to cut up the scallion next. I'm going to put the thyme in. I'm going to cut the onion. I'm going to do the pepper. And guys, remember, don't put all of the seed in there, because if you put all of the seed, it's going to be really hot. So you can just cut around the edge and put a small amount of the seed. But okay, don't use all of the seed. It's going to be really hot if you do that. Alright, so I'm going to put some season on it now. I'm going to use this Maggi all-purpose season, and I'm going to use this Maggi chicken season, and I'm also going to use Grace browning. As I say, you can use whatever browning you have, but I'm using the Grace brand browning. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of each. So you want to fold the spoon up like this and just add that. I'm going to use the same for the chicken. So the chicken is not a lot in there, so I'm just going to pour it. But you guys just use 1 teaspoon. So I normally add half a teaspoon of paprika, but I don't have any now, so I'm not going to use any. So I'm just going to use this amount of powder season. As I said, guys, when you use these powder season, you don't need to add any salt because these seasons are already salt. So I'm going to add a little brown into it. And as I said, do not use a lot of browning. What you can do is now mix this all together, rub it all together, and then you'll see if you need to add more browning or not. And I'm gonna wash my hands. And remember, guys, use a gloves at home in order to avoid from being burnt by the pepper. And this is about 2 pounds of turkey neck that I'm using here. So the more meat you're cooking, is the more seasoning you will use, but this amount is okay for 2 pounds. So poor guys, you don't need a lot of powder seasoning. You can always add more seasoning when you're cooking if you taste it and it needs more. Nice color. So I'm going to add a little bit more browning, and I'm going to add a little bit more all-purpose seasoning to it because it feels as if it needs a little bit more. And in cooking, you have to do a lot of judgment, but you don't want to use too much. It's best to use less than more of the powder seasoning because you can always add while you're cooking. So this is what it looks like, guys. It's looking really nice. So I'm going to leave this to marinate for about 2 hours before I cook it. So I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge, and I'll come back and cook it. Alright guys, so I'm back. I'm going to start cooking the turkey neck now. So I took it out the fridge for about 45 minutes. So this is it. So I'm going to cook it, and today I will be using a pressure cooker, so it will cook much faster. And as I say, you don't need a lot of oil. Yep, that is okay. As I say, you don't need a lot of oil. And you can see my pot is really hot. Then I'm gonna put the turkey neck in and let it brown for a couple minutes before I start to pressure it. Alright guys, so now I'm going to add the water to it along with the remaining onion and garlic and pepper that was on it, and cover it and let it pressure for 12 to 15 minutes. Alright guys, I just need a little bit more water to kind of cover it a little. This amount of water is okay. You don't want to use too much water because we're not going to pressure it for long, so you don't need too much water. Once it is, the water is almost covering everything, it is good. You don't need to put a lot of oil because, as I said, we're not going to pressure it for long. Just 12 to 15 minutes. Over it, ensure the rubber on the pot is fixed properly. Ensure that it is sitting in the groove. I know a lot of persons do not like to use pressure cooker because it is a very dangerous pot, but they have increased the safety on the new pressure cooker that are being made now. You cannot open it once the pot is hot, and once there is steam or heat inside, it will not allow you to open it. The pot have to be completely cool before you can open it. What I normally do when I finish pressuring, I normally put it under the pipe and run some water on it in order to cool it down quicker. So they're a bit safer now, easy to use, and help you to complete cooking quicker rather than not using a pressure cooker and just using the regular pots. So guys, when it starts pressure, you will hear the pot start to whistle. So it is at that time where you start the timer for 12 to 15 minutes. And once the timer is up, you can turn it off and put it under the water and then let it cool before opening the pot or before you try to open the pot. Alright guys, once you hear the pot start to make that whistling sound, that means it's starting to pressure already. So once you hear it, just set your timer. So I'm going to set my timer. So here's my timer for 12 minutes. So once this timer is up, I'm going to turn it off. Alright, so you can set yours as soon as it starts to whistle, you can set it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to transfer it to the sink and run some water over it so it can cool down fast. So what you want to hold this end and then use a dish towel and hold the other end and lift it carefully. So just put it under the pipe and run some water on it and it will cool itself down. And as I said before, as long as heat is trapped inside of the pot, you cannot open it. If you try to open it, it won't open because this pot is built with that safety feature on it. So you can test it by lifting the weight. Once you lift the weight and nothing is coming from it, no steam, that is an indication that the pot is now cool. So it is easy to cool down. As long as you run some water on it, it will cool fast. Okay, and I'm going to test it. Yeah, it's soft enough. So now I'm going to transfer it into a different pot and let this finish cook. Transfer everything over here. Cover it up. Look at it guys, it's looking lovely. Smell very good. So I'm going to add some sweet pepper and tomato to this, and I'm also going to add into a butter bean too as well. So I'm going to add these to it, sweet pepper and tomato. You can also add onion to it if you wish, but I'm not going to add any to mine. Just going to cover it and let it cook. And we're going to let this cook for about 25 minutes. I'm going to let it cook for 25 more minutes, and then it should be ready because the pressure cooker already did most of the cooking. And you can do the same when you're cooking oxtail. You can pressure it first because it is really tough, and this is tough too as well, but it's not as tough as the oxtail. So the oxtail will take a longer time to cook than the turkey neck. All you have to do, as I said, just pressure it first and then the rest will be easy. So I'm going to add the bean to this shortly, and then I'm going to add some ketchup too as well. So I'll be using Grace butter bean. So I'll be using this. I'm going to pull it and pour the water from it, and then I'm going to rinse it off with some water too as well. And you can use either butter bean or broad bean, whichever one you choose. I'm going to add a little water to it because it is kind of thick. And I'm going to add some Grace tomato ketchup to it. This is the final product. So I'm going to dish and show you what it looks like with the rice. This is the finished product, guys. Tell me what you think. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. This is turkey neck with butter bean, white rice, and some vegetable on the side, cucumber, string bean, and carrot. So just like and subscribe and tell me what you think.